Today on Oregon News, the Lane County Commissioners Board election nears, plus thousands run in Sunday's Eugene Marathon, and we take a look at the weather. All that and more starts right now on Oregon News Update. Good afternoon and welcome to Oregon News Update. I'm Mark Randy. In local news, the Westland County Commissioner race is setting up to be an important one for residents. Incumbent Jay Bozovich, who has spent the last 2 terms on the board after being elected in 2010 and re-elected in 2014, has prided himself on being fiscally disciplined. He has helped balance Lane County's budget and improve its bond rating. Running against him is Nora Kent, a teacher at the Florence-based Lane Community College's secondary education program. Kent believes the fiscal restraint encouraged by Bozovich has eaten away at health care for some Lane County residents. If elected, Kent's priority would be to establish continuous medical service to the Florence area, which is included in the West Lane district of the board. If a third candidate takes away enough votes and neither Bozovich nor Kent receive more than 50% of the vote on May 15th, the race would advance to a runoff election in November. Otherwise, the candidate receiving 50% or more will be sworn in January. In other news, a number of Nike executives have left or plan to leave the company after a group of women came forward with sexual harassment and gender discrimination complaints against the Beaverton, Oregon-based corporation. In addition to sexually explicit comments and other inappropriate actions, the women who filled out questionnaires and delivered them to Nike's CEO Marc also believed they were purposely overlooked for promotions. Among those that have either left or plan to leave include Nike brand president Trevor Edwards, his lieutenant Jamie Martin, Nike's vice president of footwear, and the senior director of its basketball division. A Nike spokesperson said these actions are not something the company will tolerate, and Nike is currently reviewing its human resources protocol to avoid this situation in the future. Join us after the break for the 2018 Eugene Marathon and today's weather.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Around 5,000 people ran in the 12th annual Eugene Marathon on Sunday morning, an event put on thanks to nearly 1,000 volunteers from around the Willamette Valley. On the women's side, 41-year-old Kate Landau finished first with a time of 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 44 seconds, which is the second fastest time ran by a woman in the race's 12-year history. Landau, a runner at Georgetown in the 1990s, competed in the 1996 NCAA championships at Hayward Field and returned for the first time since as she crossed the finish line at Hayward Field on Sunday. Over to the men's side, where Ethiopia's Teklu Deneki took home the win with a time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 12 seconds, more than 2 minutes faster than the next finisher. Sunday marked the 3rd time in 5 years Deneki competed in the Eugene Marathon and was his first win, although it wasn't his personal record. Deneki finished nearly 6 minutes quicker than he did on Sunday back in 2014, a mark that is the second fastest in Eugene Marathon history. In the half marathon, University of Oregon sophomore Justin Gallegos, who has cerebral palsy, finished in 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 49 seconds, just over his goal of 2 hours. The weather for the marathon wasn't ideal yesterday morning, and if you're hoping for a return of spring weather today, well, you might have to wait just a bit longer. Today in Eugene, there is a chance of showers in the early afternoon, but we should stay dry as the day moves along, although clouds should cover Eugene throughout Monday. A high of 61 degrees and a low of 40 degrees in Eugene. Headed up north to Portland, and the conditions should be similar. The chance of rain lingers for a bit longer than in Eugene, hanging around until 3 p.m., a high of 64 and a low of 46. Eastward on to Bend, where there were a few snow flurries in the early morning at the higher elevations. Other than that, though, there shouldn't be any precipitation the rest of the day, though the clouds will hang around. A high of 60 and an overnight low of 35 degrees. A decade ago, Aubrey Park was overrun with invasive plants. Brandy Crawford Ferguson, who lives near Aubrey Park off River Road north of the Beltline in Eugene, took it upon herself to remove the plants and replace them with less intrusive ones and wildflowers. Her efforts drew the attention of others, and now a group of 10 people called the Friends of Aubrey Park meet each month to keep the plants away. Taking advantage of some sunny weather over the weekend, the Friends of Aubrey Park celebrated 10 years on Saturday by hosting a celebration for the community. A couple hundred people came out to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the park's restoration. Volunteers handed out free hot dogs, and Crawford Ferguson led tours around the park. And that does it. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow for another episode of Oregon News Update.